Hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Sports Talk from the Crib. I'm your host, Tanner Christian. And coming up on today's episode, yes, we're a day early. Here on Monday, 2-minute drill finale is happening today. So we have the 2-minute drill episode. I'm feeling a little sick, so I want to get ahead and get this episode in now. And this, football playoff season's now here, and we had some teams just kind of falter, fall down and, one out of the playoffs. We had some teams that's epic collapses and some surprises did get in as the seeding and now is set. We're going to get into all that here in a second. But first, of course, the 2-minute drill starting now. The Steelers defeat the Ravens 17-10. All the backups were in. Najee Harris, 112 rushing yards on the day and a touchdown. As the Steelers get in the playoffs, it will be the 7th seed and go ahead and face at Buffalo in the first round. Texans defeat the Colts 23-19 behind C.J. Stroud's 2 TDs on the day as the Houston Texans win the AFC South and will host a playoff game against the Cleveland Browns. As Bengals defeat the Browns 31-14. Right in that, Cleveland rested all. They were locked into the 5th seed, so they didn't have to play anybody. They rested all their guys. They will face at Houston, like I said. The Lions defeat the Vikings 30-20. They lock up the 3rd seed. They will host the L.A. Rams in the first round of the playoffs. Titans defeat the Jags in an upset 28-20. Derrick Henry's potential final game as a Tennessee Titan, he ran for 153 yards and a touchdown. They upset the Jags. Jags are eliminated. They went into the game with the 4th seed, AFC South crown in their hands, and they lose it. Jets defeat the Patriots 17-3 in potentially Bill Belichick's last game as a head coach of New England Patriots. The Saints defeat the Falcons 48-17 behind Derek Carr's 4 TD passes. The Bucks lock up the NFC South in 9-0 against the Panthers. What a way to do it. They get the 4th seed. They will host the Eagles in the first round. Packers defeat the Bears 17-9. That Jordan Love's 316 passing yards, 2 TDs. They will play at Dallas in the first round as they lock up the final wild card spot in the NFC. Raiders defeat the Broncos 27-14. The Giants defeat the Eagles 27-10. We'll see how A.J. Brown and the whole crew, knee injury. Jalen Hurts looks like he broke his finger in his throwing hand. My goodness, the Eagles are on a fallout. Seahawks defeat the Cardinals 21-20. They're eliminated from the playoffs. Chiefs 13-12 over the Chargers. Rams beat the Niners 21-20. That will give you a 6th seed and play at Detroit. Cowboys lock up the NFC East 38-10 behind Prescott's 4 TDs as they'll host the Packers in the first round. Bills upset the Dolphins 21-14. What a heartbreaker, Miami. You pick off Josh Allen in the end zone twice. You stop him on 4th down. You stop him at the goal line. You did everything possible on defense, but you blow it. Now you're going to have to play at Kansas City in the first round of the freezing temperatures, and the Bills are going to be the AFC East winners as they lock up the 2nd seed and will host Pittsburgh. My goodness. Can you believe this? What happened? What an epic collapse. This is the final 2-minute drill of the year. What an epic collapse by the Miami Dolphins. Had a 3-game lead on Buffalo, blew that Monday night game to Tennessee at the final seconds. Now you got this game at home. You're thinking, yeah, we're down players. We're losing a lot of injuries. That defense played lights out for Josh Allen. That's why this is our first topic of the day here. And for you to pick off Josh Allen twice in the end zone. And then, thirdly, stop him at the goal line before halftime, preventing them from getting a 14-7 lead going into the half. And then, you don't score. You don't have all of your offensive possessions where it's 3 and outs pretty much. Punt, and then an interception. At the end, through an interception. This goes to show that this Miami Dolphins team, they just can't seem to play well against winning teams. They blew it again. And what a collapse. They even had before the 2 minutes happened there, they even stopped Josh Allen again on that little push spot. They tried to copy Jalen Hurts and the Eagles, and they stopped them. So there was 4 key plays. This defense for Miami, despite all their injuries and losing people during the game, lost Bradley Chubb last week. And you lose Van Kegel in the next game. And you keep losing people. And they go out there and keep balling like that. make Josh Allen injury prone. Yes, the guy threw all over the yard, threw for almost 400 freaking yards. He had 359 yards, to be exact, on the day. But the defense was playing lights out for the majority of the game. A big-time 95-yard punt return for a touchdown really killed the Miami Dolphins. And now they're going to, instead of hosting, if they would have won, they would have hosted the playoff game again against Buffalo. But now, since they lost, they got to go play in the freezing temperatures, a high of in the teens. Come on. Saturday night, frigid temperatures in Arrowhead, and what a collapse. There's not much else to say. For some reason, Mike McDaniel and Miami Dolphins got away from the running game, which they had over 100 yards in the first half. They were running all over Buffalo, controlling the clock. Second half comes along. Defense is on the field majority of the time. And this collapsed. Speaking of a collapse, let's get into this other collapse. How about, Jacksonville Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence? They're airmailing the ball like crazy yesterday, coming up short of the goal line on a dive. This was another team that was up weren't they up 4 games in the division? They come out after London, they can't play ball anymore. Maybe they just have to stay in London. Get the heck out of Jacksonville. Maybe as a team whole, they will play better. And, wow, you had the 4th seed. All you had to do was win, and you lose, and everybody else wins, so you got booted out. What does that say about Trevor Lawrence and Doug Peterson? Epic collapse. That's what it says. Excuse me. Epic collapse. It shouldn't have happened, considering last year they went on a run, got into the playoffs, down 27, and, win a playoff game. You expect bigger things come around this year, and it is, I don't think when it comes to these teams that have this collapse, we look at how they've done it, and as fans watching the game, you just wonder, yes, Trevor Lawrence missed a lot of throws. Maybe that shoulder injury was really killing him, right? But then you look at the play calling, and you just question yourself. You question the play calling. Look at Mike McDaniel on Miami as well. 100 rushing yards, and then you just don't want to run the ball in the second half when you have a lead. Jacksonville, Etienne, get him to the outside. Let him run the outside run, so you keep running these little draws in the middle where this doesn't work. So Etienne is best in space. Why not give it to him in space? I don't get it. It's just... It's just mind-boggling to me. Sometimes when you just watch the game, you could go on to the Philadelphia Eagles as well. They refuse to run the ball. Let's not run the football. Crappy conditions, let's just not run it at all. You just don't understand the play calling sometimes. And you got these offensive geniuses, so-called, and you just wonder, this is why you're not winning the game. It's not just the players, not making plays. Players are going to make plays. You got to put them in situations to make plays. And when you watch the game, you just scratch your head sometimes. You're just I don't understand the play calling in certain situations. When you see the same play called over and over and over again, it makes you just question yourself. The defense has already seen it. But I've seen it on my couch. I see the same play call 5 or 6 times in the course of the game, and we're only in the third quarter. I know what's coming. I know the formation already sitting on my couch at home. I already know what they're going to run. And that, to me, is the downfall of a lot of these coaches. They're just afraid to expand it. They're just oh, man, this guy called these plays because we're not going to gain any yards. We're not going to do this. But it's why not switch it up and try something different? Stop getting caught in your own ways. But Jacksonville be eliminated from the playoffs is an epic collapse. And going into next year, you're going to wonder, is Trevor Lawrence really that guy as your franchise quarterback? Was it an injury? How can this team bounce back? Because there's a certain kid over there in Houston named CJ Stroud that says, hey, this is my time now. And he's in the playoffs and you're not. So CJ Stroud, congrats to him. Sorry, Trevor Lawrence, but CJ Stroud, I don't know there's many people I would take over him right now. I don't know if there's like 5 quarterbacks in this league I would take over CJ Stroud right now. Let's talk about that for a second. How about CJ Stroud going into Indianapolis on the road, getting a victory? This is a guy who's talking about injuries. Everybody has injuries towards this end of the season. Everybody's nicked up. We got CJ Stroud going at Nico Collins and look like the best duo in the league. Looking like Dak Prescott, CJ Lamb-esque like. That's how big CJ Stroud and Nico Collins has looked this year. And it worked again. The guy, nobody could stop him. It was CJ Stroud, Nico Collins, boom, victory. We're hosting a playoff game and we're facing the red-hot Cleveland Browns. It's an interesting matchup because Cleveland beat them. That was without CJ Stroud, so we'll see how this happens this time around. But don't count him out. Either way, I'm not going to be mad at whoever loses that game. I'm not going to be mad because I like the underdog winning, making a run in the playoffs anyway. So we'll see how it comes out. But look out now. CJ Stroud is saying the AFC South is mine. And move over to Trevor Lawrence because I'm that guy. A lot of other interesting, factors coming in. Miami, their collapse. But you got Tyreek Hill going back into Kansas City. We'll get into more of this on the Friday's episode. Because a lot of big storylines going on. Tyreek Hill returns to Kansas City. We got Matthew Stafford returning to Detroit. So we got LA at Detroit Lions. That's how I actually really like that matchup. I think it's going to be an interesting game. So Matthew Stafford is returning to Detroit. We got a lot of crazy matchups, Pittsburgh and Buffalo. Who would have thought that was going to be a matchup? TJ Watt's probably going to miss that game for Pittsburgh, it looks like. So, very daunting task for them. Of course, Eagles at the Bucks. Can the Eagles somewhat, get back into some kind of groove? We'll see how Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown's injuries could possibly affect that game. And, it's going to be a heck of a playoff season. I really hope some of these underdog teams that kind of got in maybe make a run and we see what happens there. But interesting stuff going to happen here coming up. And that's going to do it for today's episode. Sorry, I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, but just want to get it all in there. Thank you all for joining me here on Sports Talk from the Crib with your favorite sports host, Tanner Christian. Remember, new episodes are airing every Tuesday and Friday. It's available on all streaming platforms. Today was a special occasion because it's the final 2-minute drill. So, social media networks is at Feel the Heat Entertainment, Feel the Heat ENT. We're on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and X. So give us a follow, subscribe to those channels. Thank y'all for joining me. Hope you all enjoy that college football playoff game tonight. We'll get into the recap of that too. So be on the lookout for that. And hey, catch y'all next time. Peace out.